My audio is working. Boom, there we go. So, I just wanted to talk about songs that are interesting, really, quite brilliant to listen to when you are high on the Kush Bush. Because why not? I was walking home and a track came on, which was MGMT, As You Move Through the Universe, and it just made me think, oh, this is so good to listen to when you're high. And I haven't been high for a while, which is a shame. It's not a shame. It's just, how life is right now. Working a lot, and when I get high, it's I know a lot of people, they can do things, and I certainly got better at it. I got better at being able to handle my weed, but I am still not good at handling my weed, and so going into work high, even if I got high the day before in the morning, I would still be high. Where that's lingering kind of high, and it would not help. But, what was I going to say? As you move through the universe, when you're high, and that's the song I'll start with. It's just such a good song. Such a good song to listen to. It really captures the title of the song itself, it's this constant soundscape that changes non-stop throughout the song. If you're wanting to listen to a song that's it grabs something and stays with it the whole time, that is like kind of consistent, regular beat and stuff like that, it's not the kind of song that you're going to want to listen to. Though there are sounds that carry throughout the song. There's this synth sound which is like, and it just kind of carries throughout the whole song, and other kind of ambient synth sounds. But some of the drum loop and rhythms that just come in for such a small little section of the 8-minute song, they're just it's so nice. And there's one that comes near the end, which is like, I can't emulate it well. I can't justify. I can't do it justice. But it's so good. And there's this crackling static sound that just breaks in for so short a moment. But when you're high, and even when you're sober, these moments that come and go so quickly, they linger in your mind, and it's such a brilliant song to listen to when you're high. And I just thought, hey, I'd recommend that one. And then talking about MGMT, the next one I'd talk about would be Siberian Breaks. And personally for me, longer songs are great for when you're high. Sometimes short songs, there are some short songs that feel like they are like, they're lasting forever, but not in a bad way, in a really good way. You're like, how long has this song been playing? Two minutes. Oh my god, this song has felt like forever, and it's amazing. But Siberian Breaks is like a 10-minute, 9-minute long song, and it changes between themes and kind of melodies and rhythms. So kind of, or not as fast paced as you move. In fact, I'd say it changes through themes a lot quicker than than As You Move Through the Universe. But it lingers when it picks something that hangs about for a bit longer. And I remember the first time I listened to it, I was high with my uni mate, Lorna, and who's a brilliant actress, by the way, and definitely check her out on Instagram. But yeah, that song, we were sitting there high as a motherfucking kite, and it came in, and it was just brilliant to listen to. I remember this flatmate, housemate, that's the word, housemate came in, called Sam. Very interesting guy. He was quite a cokehead, and for me, I was more about weed, stuff like that. Never done coke, but it does make me curious what coke would be like, but never done it, so maybe I will one day, maybe I won't, who knows, that's life. And we were just sitting there listening to it, and he came in and he was like, you guys listen to some weird fucking stuff. Which is funny because one night he's kind of like this, he's not like he's macho or anything, but he's quite a lad, and one night he came home from some party and just passed out watching The Lion King. He's a very, very, very interesting, not the kind of thing you'd expect, from this kind of laddie lad kind of person. But hey, he was a really cool guy. Anyway, going off topic a bit, I dug him for who he was. Bit of a misogynist, bit of a, everybody has their negatives, but he had his positives as well, and I appreciate him for that. But anyway, Siberian Breaks at one point in the song, it turns into this folk tune. No, it's not exactly actual folk. If you heard actual folk, you know what it sounds like. But it's what Americans would think kind of British folk music would sound like, but it's cool though. It's fantasy. It's really whimsical, and you just listen to it and you're like, I love it. I love how kind of just upbeat it is, even though the lyrics are a bit like somber and just a bit like opaque, but it's very uplifting, and then it will go into another bit where it slows and it's like, and it will kind of do that for a bit, and then it has its instrumental bits which are brilliant. I mean, personally, I think instrumental music is usually the best kind of music. It's so interpretive, especially when you've got your mind running, really thinking of images and shit like that. It's a very, very, very good thing to listen to, which, I mean, I'll just go on to Aphex Twin, because, Aphex Twin, basically purely instrumental. When he does use voices and stuff, they go with the music, they're not just like a storytelling, a direct kind of, like with most musicians when they they'll do lyrics and it's like telling you what to think almost, not that it's being indoctrinative or indoctrinatory, that's just, personally, that's how I feel with lyrics. Sometimes, I love the Strokes, I love Foo Fighters and stuff like that, but it's kind of like, sometimes the singer-songwriters, they don't leave space enough for the mind to really make something of itself out of a song, but that, it's, of course, I write lyrics, and I feel songs with lyrics sometimes, and I think to myself, am I giving the listener enough space to make their own image? Maybe not. Maybe I'm being, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? We're not high right now, so that's okay. But when you're high, instrumentals, brilliant. And Aphex Twin, full of instrumentals, somber, happy, wacky, fun, just fucking flumsy, beautiful stuff. And Aphex Twin, Alberto Basam, actually, no. I wouldn't say it's a good one, but I would say Fingerbib. Fingerbib is just such a fun track, and the other day I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about how important it actually was to my music, kind of who I am today. When you don't realise how important and crucial a song was to you as a person, I know people say, don't let music control your life and stuff, and, it's nothing like that, but it was the song that made me realise how music doesn't have to be a set thing. It can be anything. And I wouldn't say it's Aphex Twin's best example of like a totally free track, and it's not like it's every, you listen to it and it's kind of the same thing throughout. It has its set verse kind of hook, structure. It has a structure to it, unlike something from Drux, one of the IDM tracks from Drux, which are completely, structure is there, but also any expectation of what the track should be is thrown out the window by the next 30 seconds. But Fingerbib is such a good track. It's the name is just brilliant. Fingerbib, like, what is that? Is that a finger with a little bib, or is it just like a kind of dance that you do and you become the Fingerbib? But honestly, it's such a great track, and Aphex Twin has a beautiful range of tracks that if you were to listen to when you were high, they would be brilliant. I could not pick one in particular, but I guess Fingerbib is the one that I picked. If you felt like something a bit more metallic, Yellow Calx is beautiful. I mean, I listen to Yellow Calx, and some of the sounds are just so fucking. How do you describe it? it's alive. It's a living track, you know. I'd say it's one of the best examples of Aphex Twin's living tracks. It truly feels like an animal from another planet, but it carries melodies like they're nothing. And it's just, you know, I love that track so much. It's amazing, you know. Yellow Calc, strongly recommend you listen to that track. You know, I'd say it's, you know, it didn't inspire me. Oh no, it's inspired me, but not as much as I realised Fingerbib did. But anyway, we're talking about tracks to listen to when you're high, and I've got to go on to my next track, which I think, you know, it's in a different kind of way that I would recommend to listen to when you're high, because it will probably send you on a bad trip. But I you know, bad trips, I find them very interesting. They're not a bad thing, you know, personally. You know, bad trip is just feeling extreme negative kind of emotions, but they're not negative. They're emotions, just like any other emotion. You know, and Full Stop by Radiohead is a track I listened to when I was high. I'd heard it before, of course, you know, I listened to Radiohead a lot, but it came on when I was high, and the sensations and feelings that came over me were so powerful. And, you know, I couldn't listen to the whole track. It was too much. It was too much for me. You know, it sent me spiraling, but it is so good. It's so good. And, you know, if you're high and you want to experience something that is just like, it will make you feel so uneasy. It made me realize how much of a, you know, I always knew it was a good track when it came to, you know, that dissonance and the feeling of unease and tension that is just growing constantly throughout the track. It did such a good job with Full Stop. I mean, you know, Climbing Up the Walls is great and everything. You know, it's a cool track, but very angsty, you know, very, you know, just that, yeah, teenage kind of angst. It has that feel to it. Edgy a bit, maybe pretentious, but it is still a good track. I still love Climbing Up the Walls, you know, for what it is. I think the drums, the begrudging drums, oh, you know, just that boom, bom, 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 dum, bom, bom, you know, just that, oh, that's cool. And Tom York being all like, you know, I mean, you know, you gotta love it, you know, if you don't love that about Tom York, you'll never get Radiohead, you know, I was saying. But Full Stop, it will send you on a bad trip, most probably, if you connect to it. And just you know, just experience it, because it's just really, really fucking zany and weird, and like, oh, you know, it's something else, you know, just that. And I feel like most of these tracks, they contain a tension in them. They contain something that grows throughout the track. I think that's the best kind of stuff to listen to when you're high. And of course, how could I talk about listening to music when you're high without mentioning Tame Impala? I mean, Kevin Parker is a fucking stoner, you know. I don't know the guy, but, you know, you can just tell he resonates that energy. And Apocalypse Dreams, you know, a huge amount of tracks off of Lonerism and Inner Speaker, brilliant to listen to when you're high. Currents and Slow Rush, I'd say Slow Rush is a bit better than Currents. Currents is an interesting album to me, you know. I think when it came out, it was really, really prevalent for the time. But listening to it these days, I'm a bit like, you know, it really hasn't aged as well as Lonerism and Inner Speaker. Inner Speaker have aged a lot better. And I think the Slow Rush is like a perfected version of Currents. I think Currents is, you know, it's not going to be the one that actually persists as strongly as the other albums of Kevin Parker, Tame Impala, The Collective themselves. You know, it was a good album, still is a good album, but is it as good as the others? I don't think so. I think the Slow Rush is better. I think, you know, the whole idea of the album Slow Rush is just one that will take time. It will be a slow rush, you know. I love that album. I think that album's brilliant. One More Year, One More Hour, they're both brilliant tracks, and One More Year is really good to listen to when you're high. I mean, that synthesized vocal with that, you know, pattern, that sequence pattern going over it. Simple, but really effective, you know. I think that's a great track, and so many groovy tunes on that album as well, you know. Is It True? Breathe Deeper, and Breathe Deeper is literally about Kevin Parker going to a shop high on weed, which got him really anxious, and I feel him there. I'm like, yo, I get you. You know, going outside for me when I'm high is very difficult because of people and judgment about smoking weed, you know. You always feel like, you know, I know a lot of people get this, and it's something that a lot of people, you know, when you're high on weed, you feel like people are staring at you, you know, and I think some people can handle it. Personally, I can't. I struggle. Sometimes I'm able to just smoke weed. I was at a Muse tribute band. Me and my mates, we smoked some weed. I think when I'm with mates, it makes it easier, you know. And we were there, and we just smoked some weed. I smoked only a bit. I didn't smoke a lot, probably like 4 or 5 drags. One thing I did realize, I'm not sure if, you know, because I always smoke weed, and I look at my mates, I'm like, do I take deeper, bigger drags? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if like I do or not, you know. I don't know. I feel like other people think that as well, maybe. But you know, went to see Muse, and it was really fucking good. This tribute band, they were good. They were really good, you know. Personally, not what I'd want to do in music. I would not personally want to imitate a band I look up to. Don't get me wrong. I love Muse. I think they're great. Still do love Muse. You know, they inspired me a lot when I was younger. Got me through my adolescence years, along with Blur, Foo Fighters, and, you know, a lot of those kind of bands. But yeah, you know, their version of Citizen Erased, pretty sweet Stockholm Syndrome. They did all those classics, man, and they did, of course, some of the more accessible poppy tunes as well. But yeah, they did a good showcase. They did a good showcase of tracks. Commend them a lot. I forgot what they were called, but they were Bemused. I think they were Bemused. I think that was what they were called. Bemused. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, they were good. And going back to Tame Impala, of course, you know, that anxiety of smoking weed in public, I get it. If you get it, hey, give us a like on this video. If you get social anxiety worse on weed, ha ha ha. Don't give a like to this video. Dislike this video right now. Dislike it. Do it. Fucking do it. Can you dislike videos on YouTube? I have forgotten. Dislike this video if you can. Dislike it. Please dislike this video. Dislike it. Dislike it right now. I'm asking you to. Are you going to dislike this video? You better dislike this video. If you're looking, you know, if there was a camera here, I'd be pointing that camera and I'd be telling you to dislike this fucking video. Thank you. And report the channel as well. Don't report the channel, actually. That bit's a joke. Dislike the video, though, but don't report the channel. I would not like that. People are going to do that now, aren't they? They're going to report a fucking channel. Oh, they're going to be like, oh, this person talks about smoking weed. Weed is bad for you. Shut the fuck up, Dave. I know your fucking name. Cuck. Anyway, is cuck allowed on YouTube? I have to wonder about what things are allowed on YouTube. I mean, talking about smoking weed is not allowed on YouTube, is it? Probably not. Ah, well, fuck it. You know, that's life, innit? I mean, come on, fucking internet comment etiquette smoked salvia on YouTube, and that video is still up. And maybe it's too small of a channel to really get noticed by YouTube. YouTube doesn't give a fuck. Let's be honest, at the end of the day, YouTube don't give no fucks. CEOs don't give no fucks. You know, they're just jerking off with money in their hands. That's their lubricant. They grind up some money and jerk off with it. That's what they do. Cunts. Anyway. What else? What else am I talking about? What's another good song to listen to when you're smoking weed? Some Beatles songs, probably. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yes, that song is about LSD. That's not confirmed. Was that ever confirmed that song was about LSD? You know, I mean, you know, you can probably just assume safely that it is about LSD. You know, but good song. And Strawberry Fields Forever. I love that song. I love Strawberry Fields Forever. Cheesy, but I love it. You know, that's the thing about the Beatles. They're cheesy as shit, but who cares? Because their tunes are just about love, man. Well, not all of them, but quite a few of them. Love, man. Love it. I love it. Love the Beatles, you know. Never really got to the Kinks, though. My brother loved the Kinks. I never really got hooked by the Kinks. Neither the Rolling Stones, you know. Those groups, they just didn't get me. But the Beatles, maybe I'm a fucking normie, but the Beatles, they're banging. Beatles banging. You know, to be honest, I don't think there's many Strokes songs that'd be great to listen to when you're high. You know, they're bangers, and you could probably listen to them when you're high, but are they specifically good for smoking weed, you know? I don't really like that kind of tune where it's like, yeah, no, this is weed music. I don't know. I mean, Julian Casablancas definitely smoked some weed, don't get me wrong, but I think the Voids would be interesting to listen to when high on weed. I think, yeah, I'd definitely listen to the Voids high on weed. I'd definitely listen to the Strokes high on weed, but, you know, particular songs that truly make you go, whoa, dude, this is fucking crazy, man. You mean I'm not? You mean I'm not? I have no clue. I don't think that would be. I haven't listened to that when I'm high on weed. Yo, motherfucker. What the fuck is up, man? Yo, what the fuck? Woke up. Didn't something. Or some AK, it were broke up. Put it together like a jigsaw. Grabbed my Rambo knife off the floor. Went to the bathroom and beat the rush. Yo, who the fuck used my toothbrush? Went to my sister's room. Yo, wake up, you stupid ass, dirty ass, nasty ass slut. Shot her in the head, shot her in the leg. Something else, I forget. But anyway, those are some songs that I think are good to listen to when you're smoking weed. And when you're high on weed. You're probably going to be high on weed if you're smoking weed. So, smoke some weed. Do it. Do it right now. Call up your dealer if you got one. Or, you know, if you don't want to, that's fair enough. You know, if you just want to chill and just wanted to watch a video about a person rambling about tracks they think is good for smoking weed too, then thank you. You're welcome. I think. If you don't like any of this music, go fuck yourself. If you do like this music, go fuck yourself. If neither, well done. You completed and passed the test and all that shit. Okay, take care now. Bye.